A Friday indeed. Can we all give one collective woo-sa? We have made it through the week, and of course the weekend is here, packed with some exhilarating sporting matchups and a lot of action on set apparently as well. But we're going to focus on the hard-hitting rugby this weekend as the Blitzbokke take on the rest of the world at the Paris Sevens leg. Well, the best 15-a-side teams in the Southern Hemisphere continue to do battle in Super Rugby.
Dude,
it's all about rugby. Football has
yeah.
dominated this week. We had the Rugby World Cup draw being done this week, and of course the big news that South Africa have been drawn with New Zealand in that Pool B group stage of the Rugby World Cup 2019. But now we focus on a different style of rugby, and it's all about sevens this weekend, bro.
Right, dude, let's get into it. What can we expect?
So obviously a bit of a blip. So after having made 7 consecutive finals going into the Singapore leg, we saw an All-American final, Canada up against the USA. Canada taking that one for their first ever sevens title, and they were brilliant throughout that season. But the Blitzbokke did manage to secure 2 points for their 6th place finish, and that keeps them 25 points ahead of Fiji with just 2 games or 2 events left in the series. So we've been drawn against Scotland, Japan and Canada. We play Scotland up first, and that's tomorrow at just after or just under 11:30. Big news for us, Roscoe Speckman is back. He was the player of the tournament 3 tournaments ago, been out with an injury. He is back in. He is on fire at the moment. He really has filled the boots of Siabelo Senatlo, of course, moved across to the Stormers before being injured. So he's had a torrid season. But the Blitzbokke could take the tournament or could take the series now this weekend. It's going to be tough. We know that everyone, especially Fiji, they are going to be really been pushing. They've found some form again recently, but giving you in numbers how this season has played out. The Blitzbokke have scored 1,172 points, and they've scored 188 tries. That's a little less than Fiji, but I think the difference is our defense has been insane this year.
All right, well, let's see what they're going to bring in Paris, eh? And this leg is going to be very exciting. And also, of course, Super Rugby action. You said rugby is dominating, you weren't lying. So what's happening on that sport?
So everyone's been saying that there's an absolute dominance of the New Zealand sides, and yes, that is true, all except for the Lions. They've lost only 1 game this season, and that was with a very understrength side against the Jaguares, but they're back in action. Warren Whiteley is now the most successful captain of a Lions side. They're looking incredibly strong, 7 successive wins. The team culture is fantastic at the moment, albeit they haven't played against a New Zealand team yet, but they're up against the Brumbies, and Australian rugby this year has not been strong. I think the Brumbies only 2 wins out of 7 games, but take nothing away from their competitive spirit. It's still going to be a tough one. And then flying through some of those other fixtures to look out for, we've got the Blues up against the Cheetahs. That's going to be a tough one for them. But the Bulls, coming off that 62-24 loss to the Crusaders, we've seen Nollis Marais ringing the changes, 11 changes to that team, 7 in the starting lineup. And young Hanro Liebenberg comes in to captain in the absence of Adrian Strauss, who's injured. 20 years old. He becomes the 19th
That's ridiculous, man. That's amazing.
Unbelievable stuff. So all the best to you, Hanro, and all the best to the South African teams in action this weekend. And that's how you get through a year's worth of rugby in 30 seconds.